Update 2. My stepdad turned my family against me. If you haven't watched the first part of this story yet, click the card above or the link in the description. Now for the second update. Alright, sorry for the delay everyone. Work has been busy, and I just got home this past weekend. I sat on that message from what it turns out was in fact my stepfather. My curiosity got the better of me, and I called him. I did do what some had suggested, and recorded a call using a different app. I wish I could say the call provided me something, but that would be disingenuous. Hearing his voice made my skin crawl. He asked how I was, and I told him to cut the nonsense, and he laughed. Nothing incriminating on his end, of course. Talk was about 3 minutes long, about nothing. I did ask him why he wasn't content with me being with her, and he said I wasn't man enough, and that a woman like her would have been wasted on me. He has a very traditional way of thinking relationship-wise, which is especially funny because it shows how much he never knew about our relationship, or her in general. Without going off on a tangent, my ex was/is pretty notably against gender norms. She has a very well-paying job and told me she'd never be comfortable being a stay-at-home mom/wife. She even often took the initiative for stuff in our relationship, etc. There wasn't really much to take away from the conversation other than that. I don't really know what he wanted, but I told him not to call me again and hung up. Not very eventful in that front. I flew back home prior to the weekend last week and went to my uncle's birthday party. Had a good time, and the family was very welcoming and apologetic for not being more supportive after everything. None of them were ever rude or anything. I've got no negative feelings towards any of them. I then talked with my brother and set up a meeting at his place with my ex and mother on Wednesday night. On Wednesday, I went over there and got what I expected. Lots of tears, lots of apologies. I admittedly had a tough time keeping it together. I talked with both of them and my brother all independently. Mom has already filed for divorce, which is good, and I appreciate her doing so. We had a decent conversation. You can tell it's strained, but I think we're making some progress towards healing. My brother and I had a good talk. He apologized for everything that had happened, and I accepted it. Can definitely tell he feels remorse for how it all shook out. And for the work he put in to make it right, I definitely don't hold a grudge. My ex and I had a very long discussion through most of the night. We'd been talking over the phone for the last couple weeks already. A lot of it was just catching up. We're obviously two very different people now after nearly a year and a half apart. We had some more serious discussions later on, about everything. About how screwed up it all was and how broken I was by it all. She told me she'd already seen a therapist and asked if I would be willing to come with her to her appointment Thursday. She's gone above and beyond for everything I could have asked of her the last few weeks, and I'm really truly appreciative of it. I went with her to her therapy appointment, which I feel was very productive for everyone. Her therapist seemed to be very appreciative of me being there as well. So we stayed talking for a while after, and I decided to ask if she wanted to go out Saturday night. So that's the plan right now. I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but I wanted to show her that I appreciate the effort she's putting in to try and mend what's been broken. And selfishly, I'd like to see her in a setting that isn't like the ones we've been in. That's the update for now. Things are looking up. Haven't seen any of my stepdad or his family since getting home. Appreciate all the support from everyone. We'll update with anything new. Now for the comments. I really want to believe that she changed. It isn't that gullible anymore and won't fall again for such BS if anyone would ever try again. Because it seems that you really want to get back in a relationship with her. If you think that getting back together is the best thing to do, then it's your choice. Up to you. Hopefully things will be okay from now on. I'd like to, yes. That said, I'm still wary of it all. And I imagine will be for quite a long time naturally. I read your story recently, and I was so angry about your despicable soon-to-be ex-stepfather. I know it's probably going to take some time to mend what can be mended, and some things will probably hurt for some time, but I'm glad for you and how things are getting better. And am I correct in the understanding that your brother is who used to be your stepbrother? Because that's a point in your story that surprised me. As soon as you saw what length he went to reach out to you, you dropped the step. In any case, hope things go better for you as time goes. He is. It was actually accidental at first, but I certainly think he's earned that now. So wait, is brother still dating ex, or did he step back once everything came out? They aren't dating. Went on 2 dates at the suggestion of stepdad, but both felt gross about it. I'm honestly a bit concerned that because you don't have a strong support system, you let your mother and ex too fast back into your life. I would never trust them to have my back like a family should, ever again. Mom has already filed for divorce, which is good, and I appreciate her doing so. Why are you appreciative? This is a bare minimum, and mostly self-serving to get rid of a liar. If she didn't do this, she would be a monster. But if she does it, she stays a terrible mother and person. The same goes for you being appreciative of your ex trying to mend things. Not saying they can't change, but I would stay low contact for years to come and see if they seriously want to change. I'm appreciative because they've done all I've asked of them in the past few weeks. I'm communicating and trying to mend some things, but I'm still living across the country. It's more just a timing thing than anything else that I'm home this quick. At the end of the day, I'm not going to be with them because I'll be living so far away. They're gonna have to make that effort, and assuming they do so, I'll give them the time to try to fix things. Next story. Update. A woman I'm dating posted my picture to an online cheaters page. I, 36 male, met Danielle, 33 female, on a dating app and we immediately hit it off. Conversation was super easy for us, so we swapped numbers and spent the next 2 weeks texting and talking on the phone. I explained early on that I want to take my time, because not only am I looking for something serious, but also have work commitments the next few months. I work in tech product sales, which can be very busy. It also involved me leaving the city for a few days at a time. She said she understood and was also looking for something long-term. Great. We met the weekend before Valentine's and had a nice restaurant date followed by dessert and coffee. We finished with a kiss, and I walked her back to her car. It was definitely the best date I've been on since my last relationship. The next day, I called her to say I was looking forward to seeing her again and would plan something when I get back. Now, I live in a major North American city, and from the 15th to 17th, I was booked 3 hours away for an on-site client meetings. I told her about this and let her know that we'd keep in touch. On a Friday I'm due to get back, I get a message from a close female friend asking who I angered. I have no clue what she's talking about, so she sends me a screenshot of my photo on what looks like a Facebook page and tells me it's a private group where women call out men for cheating. It's called Are We Dating the Same Guy? And this particular group is just for people from my city. In a screenshot, multiple people are posting under my picture with mostly harmless comments like, "Oh, I went on a date with him years ago. He was okay." But there were others like, "PM me for the tea." And one woman said, "He's an angry a-hole. Stay away for your safety." Because it's Facebook, I instantly recognized her name as someone I went on a date with the last summer who I had to block after she repeatedly tried to sell me her cat. Absolute lunatic. A few things about me. I am single. I have never been married and my last relationship was over a year ago. I'm very selective, and Danielle was the first date I'd been on since the end of summer. I'm also a very private person. I don't use social media and I don't kiss and tell. So the fact that my photo is on this site is mortifying. What makes matters worse is when I got home, I started getting texts from a bunch of other people I know, either laughing at me or calling me a womanizer. As of now, I'm aware that several female friends have seen it. One coworker, my sister, and a woman I know who lives in the same building as me that excitedly grabbed me when I was leaving this morning to tell me, "I saw you in that Facebook group." Apparently, it's a lot more popular than I realized. There's only one person who would have the motivation to do this, so I called Danielle on the weekend and asked her. Initially, she denied it, but after some prodding, that flipped to apparently her friend posting it. Why? Because a few of them had gotten tipsy together on Valentine's as they are all single. My name came up after her friends asked why she wasn't with me that night after the great date she told them about. Apparently, me not being around as I was leaving early the next morning for work was suspicious, as was the fact we'd been talking for multiple weeks but she'd never seen my place. She gave them a picture I used on the dating app, and one of them posted it. She told me she was sorry, but that seemed too good to be true. Her last relationship ended due to cheating, and she wanted to make sure I wasn't married or in a relationship. I told her I needed some time to think and would be in touch. That was Saturday. We've been silent until today when I woke up to dozens of messages from her saying things along the lines of, "I'm so sorry," / "I'm so angry with myself for this." And then the real truth. It was her that posted it. She wanted to come completely clean and apologized for lying, telling me she panicked when I confronted her, but she wants it all out now. She sent me screenshots unprovoked of the PM conversations she was having with women in the group about me. Aside from the one head case I mentioned earlier, there was nothing accusatory. But what I couldn't get over was how they were discussing me in such an open manner. It had nothing to do with whether I was single or cheating. It was stuff like, he took me to this restaurant, he drives this kind of car, this is what his place is like, this is how much money I think he makes. I would never talk about exes or people I've dated like that. And if a guy tried to talk to me about Danielle like that, I'd think he was a freaking weirdo and tell him to stop. My two closest female friends are divided on this, so I'm here for advice. One thinks that women need to protect themselves against predators and violence, and groups like this are necessary. The other is angry on my behalf, because the presumption of men being posted to that group are that they're cheaters or sketchy. Otherwise, why would anyone even post them there? I really don't know what to do next. I've never had to deal with anything remotely like this before. I like Danielle, but it was one date. She also lied to me about it at first. This seems like a headache, and we've never even hooked up yet. Is she going to get even more paranoid after that? It doesn't feel like we're compatible. This feels like the past 3 weeks of us talking have been one massive waste. And that actually stings, because she's the first person I've really liked since my ex. Now for the top advice before reading the update. I'm really surprised you're considering moving forward with her after this. She lied to you. She invited judgment of you. She is very vulnerable to the opinions of others. And she is insecure. Insecurity definitely does not bode well with a job that will take you away from home often. This is a lot for one date, and quite frankly, below the maturity level I'd expect of a 33-year-old woman. I think you should let her go. Chalk this up to a story you'll laugh about someday on future dates and get back out there. This woman is insane. Don't walk away. Run. You can try asking her to take it down before you reject her, but don't keep your hopes up. Also, remember that she will likely share your text messages with the public, so be very careful in what you say. One date, and you're already deep in drama? Man, even the crazy ones can normally hide their crazy for at least a few months. But nope, this crazy was already strong on day one. To top it off, she lies when she's confronted with something unpleasant, and is projecting BS from past relationships onto you on day one. What advice would you give someone else who told you the same story? Because to me, this sounds like a bunch of red flags all up front. This is what I came to say. That and run. Now for the update. Back with an update, but firstly, a couple of quick notes based on the feedback I got. I don't care if you think my close female friend violated the sanctity of your super cool secret girls only club. As she told me, her loyalties are to me. She's known me since I was a child, and knows that I didn't deserve to have my photo plastered there. I understand that those groups may be necessary in keeping women safe or finding predators, but their moderator should go harder in ensuring that it meets those goals, rather than running a de facto gossip club, where innocent people's personal lives are affected. I've had dozens of people reach out with very similar experiences, so perhaps your rules should reflect that, rather than just keep boys out. As for the lunatic who wanted to sell me her cat, Cat seemed like a cool dude, but I just wasn't in the market for a pet. He also only had 3 legs, which made him run like a drunken sailor. All cats deserve love, so I hope he got away from her. Some of you alarmingly struggle with concepts of consent. I consented to my photo appearing on a dating app. I did not consent to my photo appearing in a "is this guy trash" group. These are not the same, and the stigma and assumptions associated with both are vastly different. I really shouldn't have to explain this, but here we are. Regarding me not realizing how big this group was, 3 of the women in my life all found out about it the same way. On Valentine's Day, a radio show ran a segment on it, then it got picked up by blogs and social media. It's even appeared on local television. My friend saw it on Twitter. Another saw a "this guy was dating 12 women" post that got shared and decided to investigate. My sister was texted by her friend about it, and when they all rushed to check the group out, there I was. Great timing. It currently has over 50,000 members. Anyway, moving on. So I decided not to pursue things with Danielle. She took the post down during our radio silence, but it mainly boiled down to just not seeing her in the same light anymore. I can accept that she is genuinely sorry, but I also know how I am, and it wouldn't be fair to either of us. This is supposed to be the honeymoon period. Everything is supposed to be light and cute. Now it's just suspicion and resentment. Not gonna lie, that period between when we first started talking to when I went away on my trip was really great. I looked forward to talking to her. When I would see a text, I got butterflies. When we kissed, it felt electric. Some people said what she did was such an obvious red flag. They were questioning why I was even hesitating. The reason is that I haven't felt like this in some time. My last relationship lasted 5 years, and after we broke up, I legitimately wondered if I could find that spark again. Especially after trying dating apps here and there, and not having much luck finding the right person. I do want to feel that spark again and find my person, but holding on to something that already has these problems before it even starts is the wrong move. Instead, I'm simply happy I got to experience it. Now I know it's out there and possible again, just not with Danielle. But I'll be honest, I did wake up today thinking, hey, you never know. Maybe a couple months down the line I'll think different, and maybe we'll go grab a drink. And then I saw she texted me. To preface, before I left the city for work, she sent me a photo with a message, "Don't forget about me." It was her in a bikini on a summer beach blowing a kiss. She's quite chesty, so it's not exactly safe for work, but there was no nudity. I opened today's text, which reads, "Hey, hope I'm not disturbing you, but I'd like to ask you to delete that picture I sent and do not share it with anyone." WTF? I just replied, "The only copy of that picture is in our chat thread. Do you seriously have this low an opinion of me?" To which she apologized and said she was just making sure. Fine. At first I was annoyed, but then I realized the most important thing. It was a reminder I had made a right decision. So I made another and deleted her number. I can't believe he didn't tell her. I would never share a photo of you without your consent. What kind of monster would do that? I kind of think he did say it in a classier way. You seriously think that low of me? Implies what she did was low AF. As someone who's been cheated on, I understand Danielle's insecurity and trust issues. The fact that she took it out on OP after one date shows that not only is she nowhere close to ready to date, but she also is giving her ex way too much power. She needs therapy before going into another relationship.